Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Season 8, Episode 48 overall 433 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles and Cadillacs as well, or you can give them a call at 519-824 0210. Tell them Chris Palme sent you. And you can also email the dealership at info@barrycullen.com. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern in Noonan, Georgia, the home of Southern Talk and Sports, the heartbeat of Atlanta. I hope everyone's doing well on this. I can't believe it's already Monday, September 16th, 2024, here in Southern Ontario. Another warm day in the high 80s. It feels like July, August weather, not the middle of September. And I'm looking forward to my show today. My guest today, this is her first appearance on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, and I'm excited to have her on. Her name is Angela Robinson. She is a stand-up comedian out of the Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland area, and also does some work on a military installation base. So we're going to talk to her a little bit about that and how she got into the comedy industry as well. And we're going to bring Angela on in a minute, and we're going to find out if she is a fan of sports as well. Maybe the Washington Commanders, who won a game yesterday against the New York Giants. We're going to bring on my guest, Angela Robinson, stand-up comedian.
Hey.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Wonderful,
how are you?
Wonderful. How are you today?
Good. So how's the weather your way?
Well, it was actually pretty good. It's about 79 right now. It's getting a little cloudy, so I think the rain might be coming in, might be headed our way. But I'm hoping that it'll stay off at least until our interview. If not, I'm gonna make a break for it back into the house.
Hey, I was going to ask you, I know you do your stand-up in Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland. Are you out of Washington, based out of Washington then?
I actually live in Virginia, but I'm surrounded with I live in Virginia, but D.C. and Maryland is probably about 10-15 minutes away from me. So we just call it the DMV, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, because it's all combined in one little spot. So I can get to the Beltway in about three minutes, and I can be in Maryland, or in D.C. in 15 minutes.
So you're really the three-state lady, literally. Three-state comedian.
I am.
Wow.
Hey, you gotta have them in different area codes.
By the way, I haven't been to Virginia since August 1985. So
wow.
I need to get back to
Virginia.
Come back. It's been a while, almost 40 years. So I really would like to get back to Virginia again.
Definitely. Come out and catch a game with me one day.
I was going to ask you this. Besides being a stand-up comedian, you're into the military installation. I'm going to ask you about that. Are you a sports fan by any chance, out of curiosity?
Oh, I absolutely love sports. All of my kids played sports. I got a basketball in the trunk right now. I might, in case I want to take it to the hoop sometimes. But absolutely love sports. I watch football regularly as much as I can. I'm hooping and hollering as if I'm at the stands. I love sports.
Who are you a fan of, the Baltimore Ravens or the Washington Commanders?
Well, both. I'm always a hometown favorite. I actually like the Redskins. I'm not a fan of the Commanders. I don't know what the hell they're out there doing these days. Kudos to them winning the game yesterday against the Giants. But I did watch the Raiders and the Ravens game yesterday. I was out of town, but as soon as I got home, I cut on the football game and caught the Raiders game. So that the Raiders don't play like the Raiders used to play when they was back in LA. since they went to Vegas, they got a little bougie, and they barely won that damn game yesterday. So
They
I
weren't
don't know. I'm an
even
old
expected to win it.
I don't
Yes,
think they were either. I like the old school Raiders. I still like the Ravens. I like football. I did catch some of the that New England Cincinnati game. That was a pretty good game. So and then
yeah,
I dozed off.
yeah. I'm a Eagles fan, so tonight I'm going to be stressed out. Eagles in Atlanta at 8:15 tonight at Lincoln Financial Field. So
Ooh, ooh, they
be
play
my
the Falcons.
yeah, the Falcons
Ooh.
and yeah. When I watch my games, my blood pressure goes up because I really get into it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one that's gonna get some blood pressure up too. I like the Eagles too. I
Yeah,
like the Eagles.
what I love
So
about
I'm a
football.
connoisseur of football. I like real good football.
Yep, same here. I've got the Canadian Football League, the NFL, college football, so it's a great time of the year for sports as well.
My son played for he did a combine with the CFL. I think it was about last year. We
Really?
went to
Which
LA.
team?
Uh,
Do you,
I'm
yeah,
not
do you know
I'm
which
not
team it
sure.
was?
I'm not sure, but I know I got sunburned out in LA, and black people don't get sunburned. Yeah, that was an interesting time. I had had to come back and ask my ask my Divine Nine how to help me to get me out of that, and they came up with Preparation H for the solution. I got to tell you, it worked. I I was not gonna put butt cream on the body, for the shoulder, but I got to tell you, it worked for the sunburn. They convinced me. They broke me down, and yes. But yeah, that's all I remember about that. We did a combine for the CFL. We were in LA, and I got sunburned.
Wow. What's your son's name and what position does he play?
His name is Isaiah Robinson, and he's a wide receiver, and he also plays safety. So
Oh, awesome. Two sports. So
right now he plays with the AFL with the Wheeling Miners, and they had an undefeated season last year. Also, and they took it on in for the championship. So they won the championship as well. So he's number one for the Wheeling Miners, and he just re-signed.
tell him not to give up. And there are players in the CFL that have come from the Arena Football League. So
Oh
tell him to
yeah,
keep work.
the
Tell him to
the
keep working
CFL
hard.
and he definitely is. That's his goal to get to the CFL. I told him Canton's not an option. Keep going.
It's a great league. There's 9 teams, and it's really good football. And a lot of Americans come up here. There's only 3 downs instead of 4 downs, and our field's longer and wider. But a lot of Americans that come to play up here realize how great the game is. Just the CFL doesn't have the money or the TV contracts that the National Football League has. But to me, I like the
Yeah.
NFL. But to me, I find the Canadian Football Leagues a little exciting than the NFL.
Yeah, because they play real football. You know what I mean? They're out there for the love of football. You know, a lot of these sports out here. Like basketball, for instance. I don't catch basketball, college basketball, until the end of the year when we got the Final Four and we got because they playing real hard basketball. They trying to get to that championship. They want that title. But it seems like once they get to the professional leagues, it's just kind of like they're playing games. You know what I mean? I got the money. I got the. They don't seem to have as much heart until they get to the playoffs. So I like
Absolutely.
real sport playing people.
Well, hey, maybe one day I can have your son on my show and talk about his football career and his aspirations of getting into professional football as well.
I'm sure he would absolutely love that. That would be dope. He would love it.
All right, Angela, we're going to get into some questions. Can you tell my audience? I'm based out of the Toronto, Ontario area, but my show is on
Okay.
in Noonan, Georgia. Can you just tell my audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay, let's see. I'm 52. I've been a professional comedian for the last probably about 4 years now. I told my family when I was little that I was going to be a professional comedian before I turned 50. They didn't believe me, and ta-da! Here I am.
Awesome.
I've performed all over the place, from the DC Improv to Black Women in Comedy in New York. I even had a rap battle, so I got some street creds out in New York. I sucked. Even though I can rap, I sucked at that rap battle, but I got street creds for that shit. Let's see, what else did I do? I filmed for. I'm featured on a comedy special. Um, it hasn't been released yet because two of the people that were on it just signed Netflix deals. So once their Netflix movies stuff comes out, then they can come out with the comedy special that I was featured on. But I think that's pretty dope. Hey, if two of them got it, let's make it three. Future goals, future goals. I filmed for a movie last year in New York, and I talked to the director. He said he has all the edits and stuff done on it, and that they're working on a trailer for it, and trying to get it ready for the film festival. So I'm excited about that. I got a phone call today with somebody that wants me to do two more like short films. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm supposed to go to Tennessee. Shout out to Stillhouse Records. They want me to come out there and record some music and also record some comedy. Country music wasn't even on my radar, but hey, it's on my radar now. So I'm gonna go out there and do a little ditty or two, get it recorded. Just got a lot going on, a lot of irons in the fire. You're definitely gonna see my name as a household name one day soon. So we're gonna make sure we get this in the archives because it's gonna be special one day. I'm telling you.
I can relate to you a little bit. I decided to switch careers just a few years ago at the age of 47 and a half years old. I ended up doing some volunteer work for a pro basketball team as a camera operator, led to my podcast and led to my radio show. And I'm 52 right now, and I'm trying to prove to people that age is just a number. So even though we're in different careers, it's just a number, and you just have to have a strong mindset, because as much as you get a lot of support from people, you're going to hear the skeptics and the non-believers about your age and stuff like that. So that's why I love doing this show.
It's definitely dream killers out here. It's definitely dream killers out here. You know what I mean? I have 3 adult children now, 23, 26, and about to be 23, 26, and 30. But I had to go out there and show them that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can go out there and do whatever you want to do, and you can be great at it. I told them can't is not an option, and so it's not an option. I said, Vera Wang, she didn't get discovered until she was almost 50. And so many other great people out here that's been doing good work for so long. So kudos to you for stepping out your comfort zone. Yeah, and yes, I do work on a military installation by day because I like eating, and I like keeping a roof over my head. So I got to keep a job. Comedy is great, but unless you're one of the elite, that's where the real money is. I'm gonna be the elite one day, but right now I'm still building, and growing. So as I grow, I still working hard. So a lot of irons in the fire.
I wanted to ask you about this. So you have a musical ability too, which I don't, by the way. I can't sing, but you're into music and you're also an actress. So did you find going into comedy has kind of helped you with going into acting in a country music singer as well?
Well, definitely. It has opened up so many different avenues. Neither one of those things were on my radar. You know what I mean? I was just focused on doing my comedy. And somehow along the way, a director just picked me up. Now, the first time that he asked me, did I want to do a movie or something for him, I was like, yeah, that just doesn't sound like anything that I would really do or really kind of be interested in. So when he came back the second time, I was like, now you got it. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with some gas here. So I took the role, and after we filmed for it, he asked me, he said, you sure you haven't ever, done any acting before? And I was like, nope, never. I said, I just understood the assignment. I told you, I understood this assignment. So, once that comes out, I get the IDBM, whatever those, I get those creds, the movie creds. I don't even know what the acronyms are. That's how much acting I've done. So I'm going to get it done though. So it's exciting time.
As for music, what kind of music do you like to? Obviously, country music, but did you have any influences when you were younger?
Actually, country music wasn't even on my radar. A great friend of mine, John Mincham, invited me out to do some comedy at the Cannon Fire Music Festival down in Burkittsville, Maryland. They have it every fall and they have it every spring. So I got to go down there and hang out with some absolutely talented musicians from from that particular area, the Shenandoah areas, Front Royal, Warrington. I mean, pretty badass musicians out there. And from there, I got to between doing comedy and they heard me sing a little song during one of my comedy bits. They were like, "And she can sing too." So that's how I ended up getting the country music thing. And there's another country music band that comes out there. They're building this. They have 120 acres of land in Arkansas, and they're building a studio from the ground up. And I'm talking about these dudes look like ZZ Top, and they want me to be, and they want to be my cover band. So when they said, "Angie, we want to be your cover band," I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm gonna cover that band. And so they was like, "We're gonna play the music and you can sing," and I was like, that I can handle that." So whenever that creation gets created, I'm going to Arkansas too. Um, like I said, comedy has just brought out a lot of different people. Have seen me perform all over different places, and they was like, "Angie, you definitely need to be on this project or this." So I'm just out here picking and choosing and enjoying life right now. So it's great.
Who are some of your favorite artists? Who are some of the favorite country music artists that you enjoy? And what are some of the favorite songs you've performed so far?
Right now I haven't really sang any. I haven't performed any songs other than Tim McGraw's "Live Like You Were Dying." That's my song right there. I love that one. Um, but I did a collab with one of the gentlemen that was there. We were just kind of playing around. I really don't have anything on my radar right now. Now I do. I might do Dolly Parton's "Working 9 to 5." I might throw that out there. But um, ain't ain't no it's no the world is the oyster. I just I love music. You know what I mean? I can pretty much get down to just about anything. So we're gonna see how we're gonna crank it up and see what I'm gonna get into. But I got to perform with share the stage with Sheila Campbell. Um, she was one of the people, one of the young ladies on the America's Got Talent this season. And I can't think of the other Lily. Lily, that's her first name. I know Lily. I can't think of her last name. She was also on America's Got Talent. So I've been blessed to be around a lot of different talented people. Uh, far as comedy, I can't really say that I have so many different people. People always compare me to Mom's Mabley. I guess because I curse a lot, um, and I have absolutely no filter. Um, but I just graduated from the ASAP class, the Army Partnership with the arts. So I'm trying to behave myself, and I'm actually learning to write PG-13 content instead of just saying what's on my mind. My mom told me I had to behave for your radio broadcast. She said, "Angie, you better not be on there cursing." So I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to say the right things and get so you can invite me back and we don't get kicked off. Um, so let's see. Tony Woods right now has been mentoring me. He also is Dave Chappelle's mentor. Um, and he's been mentoring me for like the last 4 years. I've through him I've got to meet some wonderful people. I got to do an interview with Tori Nelson, the 13-time champ female boxer. Um, I got to meet Miss Sylvia Traymore, who's the first black female impressionist and the first black female writer on Saturday Night Live. And just got to meet so many different wonderful people throughout this whole process. So we just getting started. So I can't wait to see where we go from here. A lot more to
Uh,
follow.
Absolutely. As for the music in your, was there anybody else in your family that had musical ability? And I just wanted to say, I'm so sorry about the passing of your father, and how much of an impact did he have on your life and your new career into the comedy industry?
Yeah, let me see. Far as music goes, I can't really say that there's one specific, like just genre of music or whatever. I just love music. And like I said, it wasn't and nobody in my family is musically inclined that I know of. You know, I just figured I just in the Bible it says I can do all things. So I'm doing all things. I can sing, I can, I can act, I can do comedy. I'm a force definitely to be reckoned with. I can even play a little basketball too. I told you I got my whole ball in the car to play too. So played football. My daughter when she was younger, she played football. She got a mean arm. She can throw. So and thank you again, for mentioning my dad. He was a great impact. He was a wonderful man. He did pass on August, I think it was the 28th. That's the day. I don't know. It's been all a blur, but he was a great impact. He was a great father. And I can say that he was the first man to truly love me. So I understand who I am and whose I am. I'm a strong woman in that foundation that I don't really get easily swayed by by people's word. I pay attention. My mom always taught me that you have two ears so that you can listen more, and you got one mouth so that you can talk less. You know what I mean? So I hear what people so I can listen what they're saying. So he taught me a lot of great things. So God rest his soul. Now I appreciate all the things that he instilled in me, and I'm gonna make sure that his legacy carries on. I'm also right now currently writing a set with a lot of the jokes and things. He used to come to a lot of my shows, even though I would say but they're like, you say that in front of your father? I definitely did. Um, he probably is the one that I got it from. So, he was very comical and very humorous as well. So I got a lot of things that I've been writing down. And so once I get it all tightened up, I'm definitely going to do a special dedicated just to him. Because a lot of this material out here got his name written on it. So, a lot of material that I do is true stories. Is real life. I was like, no wonder I did a lot of dumb stuff. So now I can get on stage and talk about it. So, great times.
Yeah, unfortunately, I lost my father earlier in life at the age of 13. So
Mm,
I kind of missed him. He's the reason why I got into sports and love sports. And
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So again, I'm sorry for your loss, and whatever. It sounds like he had quite an impact on your life and your comedy career. And Angela, I wanted to ask you this: what
Hmm.
point in your life did you develop an interest in the comedy industry, and who were some of your early influences besides your dad, both male and female?
Like I said, I just enjoy comedy. I enjoy laughter. I think laughter is good for the soul. Um, you know, um, I, you know, when people go through pain and a lot of different traumas and things, I think they laughter kind of helps. It's good therapy. And it was always good therapy for me. And I remember growing up and telling people that I was going to be a comedian later on in life, and they were like, "Yeah, right." They didn't even know what a comedian was. They was like, "What is that, Angie? How do you even become that?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna find a way, and I'm gonna be a comedian." People always compared me to so many different people, and I always say, don't compare me to nobody. Just compare me to Angie, because you're never gonna meet another Angie like me. I can promise you. And so far, I've kept my word on that one. Like I said, people used to compare me to Mom's Mabley. They've Kim Whitley, um, Lunell. You know what I mean? I've got Tiffany Haddish. You know what I mean? I've gotten it all different from all different walks. And different variations. Um, but I can say, steady strong that I love the old foundation of old comedy like the Richard Pryors, the Red Foxes, the true True Brown, land. comedians that were able to push forth the Dave Chappelle's and the Tony Woods and the Sylvia Traymores, and like I'm good friends with a lot of the Def Comedy Jam comedians. Um, Chris Thomas, Tommy Davidson, Kevin Anthony, Anthony Anderson. So I mean, there's a lot of Anthony Evans. There's a lot of different people that are out there that I've been afforded to be able to meet, through in life. And George Wallace, got to meet him. So it's been a very cool journey so far, and I can't wait to. One day Tony Woods told me, he said, Angie, he said, if you ever get to perform at Dave Chappelle's house, he said, don't ever wear lotion, deodorant, or he said lotion, deodorant, or perfume. And I said, you want me to go to Dave Chappelle's house funky? Yeah. He said, no, fool. He said, I'm telling you, you put any of that on, the bug's gonna eat you alive. And I was like, oh, he said, I'm just trying to drop some jewels. I was like, got it. I said, I'm gonna make sure I load up on bug spray. So, so who knows? Maybe one day soon you might see me get to perform there too. So you never know.
Going to put you on the spot with this question.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, besides yourself, who are some of the top female and male comedians currently?
Let me see who's hot right now. Well, there really isn't a lot of female comedians out there that you know what I mean, and that's the sad part. There's a lot of up and coming comedians, because I'm rolling with them, and it's some fire out here. There's some fire out here, but unfortunately there really are gatekeepers. You know what I mean? So I'm creating my own path. So I don't have to worry about, oh, is this person? I'm too funny for this person, so now they have to, they won't put me on their show. But there are some funny people out there. I think Adele is funny. I think Lunel is funny. I think Coco Brown. I think she's funny. I just did a show with B Flat out of Philadelphia. She's definitely funny. And every person that I've performed with in the that has been out there lately, each one of them have thanked me for my comedy and for me coming up in the ranks and being consistent and always making sure that I'm out there and growing, as a comedian. So it's fair game. The lanes are open. I'm ready, and I'm fearless. Not too much fear gets in my heart, so I'm ready. That's why I say all avenues. You've never seen a black person on a country music platform, have you? Ta-da! Now I'm out here doing comedy. My poor mama was so scared the first time I went out there, because it was only me, my daughter, and one other black person, and it was a sea of white people, and that was it. She was like, "Call me as soon as you get in the car." I was like, "Mom, I'm good." So you better not be telling those jokes. I'm telling them all. I'm firing them all off. I could care less. They're gonna get what they get out here today. So it is what it is. And so I can cross over. Now the things that I say on the stage, I make sure that it's stuff that everybody, it's for everybody, so that you can listen to it, I can listen to it. I learned my lesson when I first went out and did comedy. I went to this stage out in Arlington, Virginia. It was at the Arlington Draft House, and they had a little small area. Now later in life, that's where I filmed the comedy special. So that's how good God is. But at that time, it was the first time I had really gone out and did comedy, and it was kind of like a Star Trekian type crowd. It was a really weird crowd. So I'm up there telling these jokes, and I told this joke about Rasputia, and they're like, "Who the hell is Rasputia?" Now all the black people in the audience, they got it, because they watched the movie. They knew it was Norbit, and that Rasputia, came out the movie. But all the white people were like, "I don't know who Rasputia is." So it taught me a lesson that I had to be more versatile, and that I need to explain or tell my story a little differently so everybody can understand it. And so now I understand the assignment. So my comedy is for everybody.
I just talking to you, Angela, just for like even a half an hour, I can tell how passionate you are in any career, what you're doing, me in radio, yourself in comedy or music or act, have a willingness to learn. And it sounds like you have the same traits that I do for radio into the comedy industry.
Yeah, excited, and that's why I'm so proud that you stepped out of your comfort zone, and now you out here doing podcasts and on the radio and just doing your thing, and you know, it's a blessing, it's a gift.
Absolutely. I don't have a face for TV, but I have a mouth for radio. So that's how I look at it. I just love radio and I love the storytelling aspect. I wanted to ask you this. I've talked to some other comedians on here too. Before you go on a live performance,
Mhm.
do you have any rituals or superstitions before a show? And how long does it take for you to engage an audience mood?
Um, well, I don't really have any rituals. I can say, you know, I like music. So I usually, you know, I might go sit in my car and I might go listen to some music, or I'll put my headphones on and just kind of get in the zone, so I could just kind of think about what I want to talk about. Um, Now I could have my whole set written out and this is what I'm going to say, but when I get on that stage, it can be a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? Because I like to engage with my audience. I like to talk to my audience. I like to go to a show and be there early, so I'm sitting in the audience. A lot of times people don't even realize I'm about to go hit the stage. You know, they just think that I'm just somebody sitting out there having a drink, chatting it up with them, you know. So when I get on stage, they're like, oh my God, she was just sitting right here. You know, she was just right there. And then I come back off, sit in my seat, and go back to finish eating my food or doing whatever I was doing. So when I get on stage, I like to talk to the people because, you know, it's just like just like you and I having a conversation. I'm just talking to them and having a conversation, but I'm interjecting and bringing comedy into it at the same time. So um, right before the stage, I always ask God to continue to allow me to be humble and to continue to be grateful for everything that I do because it's a blessing. You know, just as easy as I'm able to get these blessings and go out and tell these jokes, just as easily it can be taken away. So, you know, I'm very grateful for everything that I'm able to go out there and do. And like I said, laughing with the audience is great because it's good therapy for me and it's great therapy for them.
By the way, comedy is a lot cheaper than therapy for pricing.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. It definitely is.
By the way, I wanted to ask you this as well. Do you remember the first time you did stand up comedy in front of an audience, and what has been some of your biggest audiences so far that you've done so far in your career?
Let me see. I think I did like well, one of the places that I did was at the Arlington Draft House. That was probably the second time, maybe the second or third time that I had did comedy. Where I told you it learned, kind of taught me a lesson. I did comedy at a barbecue, and I think that's actually on YouTube. I just found that on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. And that was probably about my second time doing comedy. And when I go back and look at it now, considering that nobody had taught me a daggone thing, I did pretty daggone good, I must say. Looking back in retrospect, um, as far as the biggest crowd that I can say, I said maybe about 500, about 5 to 600, and that's probably maybe even lowballing it. Um, like I said, I've performed all different places, all over. I've got picked up on a couple of more shows. Uh, for October, just waiting for the dates to get scheduled in.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. So I actually stayed busy. I did 4 shows last week. I'm over me. I'm over me this week. I can't stand me this week. I was at a pool party last Saturday doing a comedy show. I did a show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then I went out and celebrated with one of my partners in comedy, his birthday on Friday. Ended up dancing for 2 hours. Could not walk. Now, hands on the knees hit different when the next morning when you putting muscle rub on your knees. That's a different kind of hands on the knees. Ooh, I couldn't walk. So that was Saturday. I drove to go see my mom down in Norfolk, Virginia. That was a 3-hour ride. So I drove back Sunday, and here I am with you today. So I stay busy. I made sure I didn't have anything for tonight because I knew that we were going to schedule something. So I might be out there in the streets tomorrow and Wednesday and possibly Thursday again this week. So it just kind of all depends. Just kind of hitting different people's open mics. Some of them I'm actually scheduled on the show. So it just varies. It varies. And I could have nothing this week and then have every day next week with a show. So, which is good. I'm glad that I'm still relevant and that people still want to see my face out here. I was just at the Sheets the other day, and this lady followed me all around the daggone Sheets, and I was like, I'm thinking this lady might have had one too many. And so when I get outside, she said, "You're a comedian. I know who you are." And I was like, "You could have asked me that 10 minutes ago instead of scaring the shit out of me. And I'm thinking I'm gonna have to punch you in the eye." So it's pretty cool to know that people actually know who I am and starting to recognize me out here. But at the same time, it's a lot of weird people out here too. So, you know, but I love every moment of it. I love every moment of it. My fan base is growing. On TikTok, it's growing on Instagram, it's growing on Facebook. So it's great out here. I see my future getting brighter. So I love it.
For those that are watching this live streamed on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, and Instagram, and on our audio platforms and WQE 99.1 FM, there's somebody out there that's watching or listening to our show today that's interested in the comedy industry. What advice would you give them, Angela?
One thing that I would advise them to do is make sure that they go out and do open mics. The open mics is where that's their platform where they can actually learn their craft and see what material might work and what material might not work. Not all material is good material. Some of the material you have to get rid of, but some material, is workable, or you have at least a platform that you can say, "Hey, this is funny, and I can take this right here and take it somewhere from there." So open mics are good. The ASAP program, if anybody's in the military, if they're a spouse of a military vet, or if they're a child of a military vet, it's open up to them, and it's free of charge. They can go in there and take comedy classes. They can take writing classes, and there's a host of different classes that they can take if they want to learn actually how to write. One of the reasons that I took the class is because even though I have all these jokes and all these things jumbled up in my head, how do I write it down? What's the basis of a joke? How do I write a joke? You know what I mean? So I had to go back to the basics so that I can learn why does my brain function the way that it does. And so that's one of the things I was saying. And don't give up. Everybody, might not be great at first. I'm pretty sure I wasn't the greatest when I first, actually learned how to go out there and start, slinging jokes. My style might be different from somebody else's. Now, I've gone to a lot of open mics, and there's some people out there that they should probably be writers, and maybe not on stage, you know what I mean? But I can't kill nobody else's dream. Maybe this is what they've always wanted to do, and maybe they just need somebody to show them how to do it. I've helped at least 4 to 5 people become professional comedians since I've become one. Each one teach one. So those that showed me how to show the way, I reach back and pull them back so they can show the way, that maybe they can show somebody else.
Paying it forward.
Paying it forward, definitely.
I was going to ask you this question later, but you've kind of already answered it about the writing aspect of the comedy industry. What do you love about the writing aspect of the comedy industry, and what are some of the hardest aspects of writing your own jokes?
Well, as far as me and writing my own jokes, like I said, a lot of my stuff is real life. So I just put my own spin on it. And now, as far as writing, you can write, but only so much, and your brain just kind of locks up on you. So, like I said, I just took that class because I wanted to see what I could do to unlock what I had in there, and that's why the class was so wonderful for me, because it gave me different techniques and different avenues that, oh, you know what, I never thought about that. And so now I can write freely, and I can do things a lot easier, and unlock these things, these thoughts and things that are in my head, and kind of throw it together. The first thing that I was told to do was to make sure that I had like a solid 5 minute set. So I wrote. So I started with 3 minutes, and then I added on, and then I added on. Now I just keep adding on and adding on. I keep adding those different 5 minute sets and different 5 minute sets. So I'm just trying different material and different things, and you just never know what you might come up with. Some things are winners and some things aren't, but you never know. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Absolutely. What's the average length of one of your shows? And I'm going to reword this other question I was going to ask you. What I was going to ask you, describe to our audience your comedy style, but what's a couple words just to describe you as a comedian for those that have never seen you perform before?
To describe me as a comedian, let's see. Like I said, there's no HR department in comedy, or at least for me. And they give me a microphone, and I can say what I want to who I want. So that's my comedy style. Rude people, I don't have any problems in talking to them in the audience. Where most comedians, they're, I did this, da, 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 da. It's like they're almost reading a script. Like it's me. I could be telling you about me. I'm talking to you. I could be talking to anybody in the audience. They're talking back. I'm interacting. So, my comedy style is very different. I engage with the people. I bring the people into my show, as well as I'm telling jokes at the same time. So it's just like me and my buddies hanging out. So my comedy style, I can say is unique at the fact that I'm unfiltered. That's for sure. Now, the military wise, I had to be PG-13, so I'm getting better. But for the most part, I'm unfiltered. There's not much that I don't talk about or say, and I have no problems in speaking my piece, so to speak. So I don't bite my tongue, and I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. But they seem to love me, so I guess I'm okay.
Be yourself. Basically, be yourself. And also, too, when I first started my show 5 years ago, I had everything scripted. And one of my guests gave me some advice. He goes, Chris, when you talk to your guests on your podcast or your show, talk to them like you're at a coffee shop or a sporting event. So I do write down
Yeah.
stuff and points and notes and stuff, but I just find
Mhm.
it's better conversation. So some of my
Yeah, and it
guests over the
flows.
years have actually given me good feedback, and it helped. Be yourself. Be yourself. Mistakes do happen. You learn from them. The only way you get better as a performer is to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
But natural conversation or natural comedy is better than stuff that's scripted and prepared for you.
Yeah. Indeed. Yes, indeed. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. And
Hey,
be natural. Be yourself. You're right.
absolutely. If you got more minutes, I would like to show a clip from Comedy Night at Clearbrook Center of the Arts from August 15th to 2023. It's a couple-minute clip. Is that okay if I show it to my audience or
Sure. Of
audience?
course. Of course. Of course.
Okay, just let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio okay.
Y'all get that tomorrow when y'all drive home. Anyway, I work on a military installation. And I always tell people I'm gonna do my 8 and I'm gonna hit the gate because I'm a little lighter today. Not because these lights are on, it's because they tried to work the black off me, Christian. You know what I'm saying? Me and you could be, we're twins. We're twinning over here, Heather. We're twinning. I'm lighter. They tried to work me like a Hebrew slave. So whenever they say, hey, Angie, you want to work late? This is the bullshit I hit them with. I hit them with this dumbass song that I've been singing for about 3 years. And that's why I knew you were going to give me a light because that's why I was going to sing this bitch. So I can get the fuck off this shady ass. You haven't had nobody my size on this bitch. Yes. And I can tell. I'm trying to straddle some shit in case I become the basement. So, because this stage, this step over here looks like some false sense of security. So maybe I should hold on to it. So anyway, the song that I'm going to sing y'all is the song that, then the shit works. I'm telling you, it works. It works. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but believe. No, I won't be you as I'm driving away. Fuck you. Brandon, come up to the stage. You. Thank you, B More.
Angie Robinson in her chair. Ready to lay motherfuckers out if they get wild.
Thoughts on that? And I guess, do you do a lot of music with comedy involved in it? I thought that was really funny. That was cute that you had comedy inside in your song.
Well, that's why I try to do. I incorporate everything. You know, like I said, I could be talking to the audience. I can sing a song. I could make up a song. You know what I mean? So I might sing a little. I might, you know, I might even do a dance. Ain't no telling. I've been known to do the splits on stage. Yeah, it was a little teeny stage. I was like, I'm not leaving my Dana on that stage. It was too little. Which is the DNA Dana. So. You know, I just incorporate comedy is comedy. It's no holds bars. There's no HR department. I can do whatever on this stage. Oh man, for how long? You know, it depends. I could be up there 5 minutes. I could be up there 10 minutes. I could be up there 20 minutes. One night I was up there 30. So you know, it just depends on right. It just depends on where I'm at, what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm hosting the show. So, you know, I could be hosting and you know, throwing my comedy bits in between as I'm bringing people up on stage. So it all varies. It all varies what, you know, what venue. It depends on if it's somebody that you know, that might not be able to hold their own. They might have me do a little bit longer set before they bring the headliner out. So it all varies. So I've done all different kinds. I started out doing 5 minute sets. And now, you know, throughout the years, I'm able to work myself up. And like I said, was able to write more material down. I try to get down into the studio of my head, whether it's by myself in the car or in the house somewhere, so I can just at least try to write a one joke a week, even if it's a partial joke, at least get started, you know, where I have something that I can just kind of write off from. So and just kind of have a book of stuff, you know. So I might look at my book before my show and be like, oh yeah, you know, I forgot about this one or this one, or just kind of plant little seeds in my head of what I might want to talk about, because that way I can try to keep it flowing, so that I'm not just talking about one subject and then now I'm way over here with something else, just trying to kind of mesh it together. So just never know. Never know what you're gonna get out of me.
Do you have any plans for a YouTube channel and a website as well?
Well, you know, it's funny you should ask me that, because somebody, about 2 or 3 other people have asked me that, you know, and you should start a YouTube channel. One, I've been just so crazy busy just trying to keep up with me. I just haven't had the time to actually set up a YouTube channel. I have done a lot of interviews on YouTube. I just did a YouTube a Venue TV that's on YouTube. I just did a video interview with them a couple of weeks ago. The only websites that I have is just the Facebook, and that's Angela Robinson. Like I said, it used to be Angie Robinson, and I got kicked off of Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So my Instagram, I'm still on Instagram, and that's M3Zs .Robinson. So that's MZZZ .Robinson. That's Instagram. TikTok. You can find both of that information on Instagram and my I can't remember my kids pretty much set up all that stuff for me. Then they had to go back and reset it up for me after they. I mean, I was on Facebook. I had a huge following before I got kicked off. So now I'm regaining my followers. I think I'm at 5 or 6,000 right now. So I'm getting there. That's on the book, and I think I'm at like 2,000 on the gram. So I'm getting there little by little.
I can relate to. I actually do all my work. I'm the producer, I'm the host, the content creator, and I'll tell you, it's a lot of work. A lot of these podcasts, they have 3 or 4 people helping them out. I even edit my own video. I just
Oh
feel
wow.
that the more I can do, the more hats you can do, the more it increases your chances of being successful if you can do more than just one thing. And uh,
Yeah,
and social media
I agree.
right there with the full-time jobs.
I absolutely agree. A lot of people are still trying to, they want to know, do I have a manager yet? Well, right now I'm able to manage it myself at the moment, but I do have people that are in line, as backup in case I do have to get to that point where I need to be managed. But I like to be hands on. I like to be involved in knowing where I'm going, where who I'm performing with, where I'm going to be performing at. So I like to be a part of that process. I don't want somebody to be like, oh, by the way, I need you to be over here at this time and this time. And I'm like, huh? I don't know anybody, or anything about it. So I like the hands on with it too. So I absolutely agree.
Any plans to do any international shows at some point, or even come over to Canada?
I would absolutely come over to Canada or international. I am get my passport just finally got renewed, so that's coming to me soon, so that I'll be able to travel internationally again soon. So anybody overseas ready for me? Hey, bring me over. Now a lot of places, like I said, my mouth is kind of reckless. Like I probably couldn't go to Dubai right now with I'm, I know they give you a big book of what you got to read. Now I'm going to Dubai, but I'm probably gonna have to wear a shield or anything over and say be do my PG-13 content, and hopefully I don't get locked up in the clink. So but any other place that would love to take me that I don't have to monitor my voice or my mouth, I'm there. So who knows? We'll never know.
The last comedian I had on from New Jersey a week ago said when she go to certain clubs, she has to sign a contract saying she can't say this, can't say that. Have you run into that in clubs yet, where they've made you sign a contract?
Well, I didn't sign a contract, but I didn't read the shit either to say that I couldn't say certain things, and apparently I was at the Richmond Funny Bone, and I was at the Clash of the Comics, um, and I ended up getting on the show at the very last minute, so I was the 13th contestant, and I lit that stage up. Well, Miss Angie dropped the F bomb more than once, and I even did it in sign language. I showed the people how to do some sign language, um, and it just happened to drop the F bomb in the middle of it. So he told me, he said, Angie, you won, but you also lost because you got disqualified because you dropped the F bomb. So I was like, damn, that's like getting hired and fired at the same time. So yeah, I won and lost at the same time. So now I have to go back and regain my title at some point without the F bomb.
And finally, I do this to wrap up my shows with all my guests. Angela, I wanted to
Hmm.
ask you, what are some fun facts about Angela Robinson that your fans and audience might not know about you, or even one fun fact?
Let me see. Fun fact. Fun fact. Even though I got married, I never changed my last name because I knew I wasn't gonna be married long. Um, it got on my damn nerves. Let me see another fun fact. I like to eat icing, cake icing, just out the in the cake batter, the cake batter and the cake icing. Maybe that's why I'm a little more chunkier than usual. And let's see, I used to wear wigs a lot, and now I've gone natural because the heat flashes are real. So I'm unbelievable now. So those are some fun facts.
And In your career so far, is there a one most memorable performance and one club that you really like doing comedy at?
One memorable performance. Let me see. I think all my performances are memorable. Because I got to connect with a lot of different, different people. Let's see. I got to perform at Tally Ho. A fun fact about Tally Ho is that's in Leesburg, Virginia, and when it was originally made, black people weren't allowed to perform on stage, and they were only allowed to be on the top tier of the theater. They weren't allowed to be on the main stage. Well, I got to perform there. Not only was I performed on the stage, but I got to sit at the bottom row in the bar, wrote my name on the wall, and I got to hang out all over the place. So that was pretty cool. Let me see. I've just it's just been an amazing journey. And I've got to meet so many, like I got to meet you. I've got to meet so many wonderful different people along the way. I remember when I first started one time, I was performing in a gentleman's basement. He had made a little comedy club in his basement, legit. Now it was dangerous as shit because there was only one entrance in and one entrance out. And his stage, he had an arrow, and he said, "Angie, stand between the arrows." Well, me being Angie, I decided I didn't want to stand between the arrows, so I'm walking out in the stage just kind of bowed down. And I was like, the fuck? Am I on a cardboard box? I thought I was on cardboard. I thought I almost died because I almost didn't have a railing. I almost took out his dog cage. It was a mess. So I've had some interesting nights because I've learned to wear tennis shoes on stage instead of heels because, yeah, you never know what kind of stage you're gonna be on, or where you're gonna be. Where I might have to run. I never know. Just never know where I'm gonna be. But I'm gonna be there. Trust me.
And finally, Angela, where can my audience follow you on social media? And can you tell us about some of your upcoming live performances? And are any of them available live streamed too on the internet?
Okay. Let me see. Usually, like I said, I frequent a lot of different open mics around the area in DMV, just horning in on my craft. So you might be able to catch me for free at some of these open mics. You might be able to catch me at the Electric Palm in Woodbridge, or the Hog Shack in Manassas on Wednesdays, or the Republic Brewery every Thursday, in Stone Ridge in Woodbridge, Virginia. Those are some of the places that I go Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. On October 31st, I'll be in DC at the DC Comedy Loft, hanging out with some great people. My girl Patrice Devereaux, um, she has a Halloween costume party, so I'm gonna hang out with her down there. And I have so many different things coming up. I can't keep up my calendar right now because I don't want to hit the button because you might disappear if I hit the button. So, but I do post all of my shows on social media. Like I said, I am on social media under Angela Robinson under Facebook, like it's the government name because they kicked me off. And under Instagram, it's the letter M like Mary, three Z's like zipper dot Robinson, and that's ROBINSON. So you can catch me on the gram there, and then you can get my TikTok information from either one of those sites because I don't know it by heart, but I know I'm on TikTok. So that's how you can catch
And
up
I
with.
and I followed you on TikTok as well. But hey, I want to
I thought,
say, Angela, thank you so much, Angela, for coming on here today. And I want to wish you continued success. And give me a little bit of time tonight because I got another show tonight at 8 o'clock, and I will send you the audio, the video, and some clips, and I'll tag you in on our episode today. And you have an open invite to come back on my show again in the future, and hopefully one day you'll be up here in the Toronto area too doing comedy.
oh, you are the bomb.com, Chris. I appreciate you, sweetheart. And thank you for inviting me and thank you for having me on your show. And I will absolutely come back and sit in the seat. Hopefully I'll be in a different seat. I'll be in a cruise controller doing busting some other moves. But and as far as live comedy, like I said, a lot of my stuff I post on TikTok and I post it um on social media. So up until then I'll post some other stuff elsewhere once I get a site going. But for now, I really appreciate you and thank you again.
Thank you so much, Angela. Have a great night, and we'll be in touch with you on social media. Thank you so much for coming on here today. Continue success in your career.
Thank you. Same to you, sweetheart. You have a good one. I appreciate you.
You too. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed season 8, episode 48, overall 433 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show here on this Monday, September 16th, 2024. I'm going to wrap this show up because I have a second show tonight, and I'm going to make that announcement just right now. And my second show is going to be at 8 o'clock tonight. And I'm looking forward to my next episode, which is tonight. Next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Again, brought to you by BarryCullin.com and on WQEE 99.1 FM is going to be tonight, Monday, September 16th, 8 p.m. tonight in a few hours with Nashville recording artist Tori Martin, who just released her latest hit single called Lost in the Country. And Tori's been on my show before in February, and this is her 10th single, and she has a very bright future ahead of her in country music. And she is from Texas, and she is in Nashville a lot as well. So hope you guys can tune in tonight, 8 o'clock with Tori Martin here on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Again, I want to say thank you to my guest today, this afternoon, Angela Robinson. She's a stand-up comedian out of the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. So please check out Angela Robinson, comedian, on social media as well. And I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live stream today and on my audio platforms and on WQEE 99.1 FM, and sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership here in Guelph. That's going to be it for right now. We'll see you back here at 8 o'clock tonight with Nashville recording artist Tori Martin, and Eagles Falcons tonight 8:15. But make sure you tune in to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show with Tori Martin and myself. Then you can tune into Monday Night Football with the Eagles and Falcons. All right, guys. Thank you to Angela Robinson, and thank you to everyone watching and listening this on audio platforms, video platforms, and on WQEE 99.1 FM. We'll see you in a little bit with Tori Martin and talking about her latest single, Lost in the Country. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show.